The only thing we have to do in our life, the one thing, not be famous, not be intelligent, not be wealthy, not be anything, except our one duty we have to do is give honor and glory to God.
There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world.
Welcome to Halas Hall. Thank you very much for being here. This is our third annual Sports Faith Hall of Fame inductions. Bob Ladouceur was born in Detroit, Michigan. He moved west and by the age of 25 was challenged by coaching the De La Salle Spartans in Concord, California. The year was 1979 when he took over a team that had never enjoyed a winning season since its founding in 1965. By 1982, the Spartans had captured the Catholic Athletic League Championship and the CIF North Coast Section Championship. That was just the beginning of the magnificent turnaround in the sports history of the De La Salle Spartan. From 1992 to 2003, Bob guided the team to 151 consecutive wins. Bob was inducted to the National High School Hall of Fame in 2001. 5 times his team topped the USA Today rankings, and he is 3 times named the Coach of the Year. In 2008, his career record was 343 wins, 23 losses, and 3 ties. His .936 winning percentage earns him a record among coaches with 200 wins or more. Here is a snippet of Bob Ladouceur's philosophy. We count our victories on a daily basis by the small things we do each day, executing our skills, and overcoming our selfish natures. I believe that my program has to provide the opportunity for kids to improve physically, spiritually, and emotionally. If that's not happening, I'm not doing my job. We are happy to honor Bob Ladouceur today for his faith, perseverance, and hard work as coach of the De La Salle Spartans. He is in a wedding today, so he couldn't be here. But when I was in California last October, I heard about him and was really struck by the fact that he says to his team, "Let us remember." And the team responds in unison, "We are in the presence of God Almighty." So Bob's not here, but in his honor, let us remember, we are in the presence of God Almighty. Thank you. The 2010 winner of the Sports Faith Hall of Fame Team of the Year goes to Lafayette Central Catholic Baseball Team. Winners of the 2009 Indiana High School Athletic Association Class 1A State Championship, Central Catholic now has earned the 3rd state championship in the last 6 years. Coach Tim Bourdonnais also received his 3rd Indiana State Coach of the Year award. The Knights finished the season with a record of 28-4 and have averaged over 26 wins over the past 8 years. This is the highest average for wins in the entire state of Indiana during this time period. Central Catholic was also undefeated in the Hoosier Heartland Conference with a perfect 10-0 record winning an astounding 55 consecutive conference games and 15 consecutive titles. Academically, the 2009 Lafayette Central Catholic baseball team rang in a GPA of 3.71. Many of the players also find time to be involved with school leadership groups and co-curricular activities. The importance of giving back to the youth of the community is manifested when the team hosts a 2-day Christmas baseball camp for all the youth in the community. The players serve as coaches, instructors, and mentors, emphasizing the importance of commitment, integrity, teamwork, and competing in a Christ-like manner. The 2009 team spent 3 days off from practice and games so that they could participate in the school's search retreat. They have learned well the art and the value of passing the faith along to the youth they reach out to. We now induct the 2009 Lafayette Central Catholic baseball team into the Sports Faith Hall of Fame.
Thank you. I am very honored and humbled to receive this award on behalf of the Lafayette Central Catholic High School baseball team. I am the head coach, Tim Bourdonnais, and along with me today is my assistant coach, Dave Sterrett. 3 of our current seniors who were integral parts of our state championship teams in 2007 and 2009, and now they are seniors. Reed Drysdale, Scott Windler, and Cole Reskovich. This is a very special award because it recognizes not only our success on the field, but success in the classroom, in the community, and most importantly, our Catholic spirituality. As a head coach, I am constantly stressing to our players the importance of being good role models, being good teammates, and living unselfishly like Jesus did for all of us. Being named the High School Team of the Year rewards our players for living up to these standards and will continue to motivate them in everything that they do so they can continue to be men with high integrity and character. And I am a firm believer that if you live your life and practice the virtues and values that our Catholic faith teaches us on a daily basis, good things will happen. I accept this award on behalf of the outstanding Catholic young men that make up the Lafayette Central Catholic baseball program, and the many players and coaches that have come before us. Thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
This year's Sports Faith International is happy to recognize St. Mary's High School of Stockton, California, for their outstanding record in high school basketball. They have garnered 5 California state championships, have participated in 7 state championships in 10 years, and are rated #1 in the country. They also hold the title of winners of the T-Mobile Classic in Alabama in 2010. The team has a cumulative GPA of 3.07. They participate in helping out grammar schools, hospitals, and other nonprofit community agencies. They pitch in and provide food for the hungry at Thanksgiving and toys for needy children at Christmas. They are living out some of life's beautiful beatitudes. Their Catholic faith shines as they go to Mass as a group, open every practice with a prayer, and participate in a morning direction of intention to start each day. The girls live out the saying of the Oblates of St. Francis de Sales: be who you are and do that well. It is an honor to induct St. Mary's basketball team into the Sports Faith Hall of Fame.
First of all, I want to say thank you to the organization for recognizing our girls. Again, girls' sports is a big thing in our area and at our school, and it's nice that they get recognized, and we truly appreciate your organization for recognizing them. You know, we're run by the Oblates of St. Francis de Sales, and the Oblates believe, be who you are and be that well. Live today and not for tomorrow. And we really try to instill that in our community. And in athletics, we go by a talk about Ram pride. And again, it's not typically about pride itself, but it's about community. A group of Rams together form a pride. And so we want to, what's it take to be successful in that pride? And what we try to do, and our coaching staff and our girls basketball coach, who does a phenomenal job of it, is talk about what it takes every day. And that is to start recognizing that, one, it starts with work. You have to pay a price for anything that you want in this world. Respecting everybody that you come in contact. And in our situation, it's your co-students, your faculty, your staff, your parents, your fellow players, your opponent, even the neighborhood property. Next, we talk about determination and what that is. And again, nothing in life is going to be easy. We're going to run into landmines and everything else. We've got to attack it. Passion and enthusiasm. And if we can get that accomplished for every student that we come in contact with, we feel that we are building the community that we want. I really want to thank this organization, our girls, and our coaching staff for being able to accomplish something so wonderful. So again, thank you very much.
Will's achievements include being named 2009 National Private School Association First Team All-American, 2009 Associated Press 1B Player of the Year, and 2009 Tri-City Herald All-Area Football Most Valuable Player. Will set 6 National Federation of High School Athletics football records and 16 Tri-Cities prep school records. In academics, he won distinguished honors, cumulative GPA of 3.5. In community service, Will worked 50 hours in the 2009-2010 school year for Habitat for Humanity, volunteers at the River's Edge Retirement Home, and shares his gifts with youth sports camps around the Tri-Cities. As a Eucharistic minister and member of St. Joseph Parish, Will helped out as senior advisor for the Tri-Cities Prep Junior Retreat and as faith captain of Tri-Cities Prep football, basketball, and baseball programs. It is a delight to recognize Will Hoppus as the Male Athlete of the Year.
Most importantly, I'd like to thank God, for without Him, none of any of this would be possible. And I found that in my life, one of the way that God has revealed Himself to me is with the people He has given me in my life. And the most important people He has given me is are my parents are here today with me. And throughout my life, they've taught me about excellence on and off the field. I'd also like to thank Mr. Whitlaw, the athletic director, and Coach Whitsitt, who kind of forced me actually to apply for this award, because I was in study hall one day and he came in and with that, he didn't even tell me about what I was filling out exactly, so he just had me write the essay and then told me afterwards what this was all about, so I guess I owe a lot to him. And I mean, I don't want to seem arrogant, but I've racked up a few awards and stats during my career, but I know there's a lot, the stats represent something, and it's, you know, the hard work of me and my teammates who put in during the season and off the season to achieve those stats. But to receive an award like this is it's pretty special, because it's an example of what I've been trying to do as of lately in my high school career is try to become the best version of myself. And I've kind of, everyone tells you to, all these different words, you have to work hard and persevere and be disciplined, and I've kind of taken all of that and simplified it into becoming the best version of myself. And so an award like this really, it's just it's been my goal for as long as I can remember to achieve this, so it's just amazing. And thank you.
April Ortenzo is an outstanding athlete. A student at Cardinal Gibbons High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, she was the starting shortstop who led the varsity team in hitting and received the Outstanding Player Award each year since her freshman year. For 3 years, she placed in the top 10 hitters in Broward County. Her cumulative high school varsity batting average is .497. April signed early to play Division I softball for the United States Military Academy at West Point next year. Academically, April has been on the honor roll all 4 years and in the National Honor Society in grades 11 and 12. Her 4.05 GPA attests to her diligence in her studies. With 487 hours of community service, she has more than surpassed the high school requirement for honor gold cord at graduation. She served as coach for the Cardinal Gibbons sports camps, baseball, softball, soccer, and participated in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. She is a member of Mary Help of Christian Church in Parkland, Florida. In her personal statement, she gives us a perspective of her Catholicity. My main goal in life is to help other people. I feel it is what I am meant to do. Let us now congratulate the 2010 winner of the Sports Faith International Award for Female Athlete of the Year, April Ortenzo.
I am very honored to receive this award and would like to thank Sports Faith International for selecting me over so many other outstanding female athletes across the country. Motivation and self-determination have driven me to succeed, but I would not be here today without the support system from my family, coaches, and teammates. However, those I lean on the most and put everything on the line for are my teammates. Forming a bond and feeding off one another physically and mentally has opened my eyes to see the whole field, not just the vision from my own position, a lesson for life. And I thank God for giving me the health and the abilities I have to pursue my goals. It is rewarding to be a part of something as amazing as this at such a young age. This award has reinforced what I have learned from everyone who has supported me, that hard work and dedication can lead to great success. Something that will continue to inspire me as I move on to the next level of competition in college and begin my service to this great country at West Point. Thank you.
The 2010 Prayers for Life Pro-Life Award is awarded to Thomas Linton of Juan Diego Catholic High School in Draper, Utah. In the field of athletics, Thomas Linton excels in wrestling. He was selected by the wrestling coaches of Utah to the Utah All-Star team for 160-pound weight class and is the first person from Juan Diego Catholic to attain this honor. Thomas has been in the Marine Corps Junior Reserve Officer Training for 2.5 years and has a first-degree black belt in Kwansu Karate. Achieving a GPA of 3.11, he travels 45 miles south of his home each day to attend the best of the 3 Catholic schools in Utah. He hopes to have a career as a military officer and has received the Military Officers Association of America Award. This personal self-discipline of Thomas Linton is ever more evident in the practice of his Catholic faith. He is active at his parish, San Andres Church in Peyton, Utah, and worked as a volunteer at the Provo Food Shelter. With his late dog, Duchess, they help severely disabled children as part of an animal-assisted therapy team. His current project is sponsoring and running a pro-life contest with St. John's Middle School. The title of this contest is 7 Days Without Prayer Makes 1 Week. Thomas had 2 reasons for doing this. So more Catholic students think about pro-life issues, and secondly, because he is adopted and abortion was a real option for his parents. He and his adopted sister Elizabeth have walked across the state of Utah with Crossroads pro-life walkers. Thomas has prayed at abortion centers and says, being adopted and not aborted has made me pro-life. The more pro-life I become, the more Catholic I become. I have personal proof that God places babies in the right home for them. Here to present the Prayers for Life Pro-Life Award is Randy Albright, country Catholic writer and recording artist.
I do accept this award and present it and accept it for Thomas Linton. What a wonderful life this young man has displayed for us, and what a wonderful example of pro-life, saying yes to God. You know, when Angela said, tell a little bit about your life, I got to thinking, boy, I sat down, I wrote a bunch of notes, I thought, man, am I going to tell them about me? And then I thought, in my heart, I know that I'd rather tell you about Mary and the real fight for life. Our Lady of Guadalupe came to save the children from human sacrifice. Our Lady of America came to save the children from another kind of human sacrifice, abortion. Every day we are faced with the decision of doing right or wrong, saying yes or no to God. And many unwed mothers and others in a state of crisis are faced with that same decision and that same choice. Well, Mary too had a choice. And she could have said no. But we're so wonderfully grateful that Mary said yes. In a world like today, we see evil more bold and prevalent than ever before. And it reminds us of a time long ago in a tiny corner of the world where that same evil was bold and prevalent. And the lives of many little boys under the age of 2 were taken. So I'd like to accept this award on behalf of Thomas Linton and on behalf of all of the unborn and their precious right to life. And as well as in memorial to the over 50 million American citizens whose lives have already been taken in the womb or just outside of it. For no one has ever healed themselves by hurting another. God bless you all, and thank you for allowing me this opportunity.
On January 24th, 1992, Haley Scott DeMaria seemed forever changed. A passenger on the bus carrying the University of Notre Dame swim team, Haley became paralyzed from the waist down after a fatal bus crash. Her family was informed that she would never walk again after undergoing multiple surgeries after the accident. Haley vowed to walk and swim again, and against all odds, she was back to swimming for Notre Dame by October of 1993. Her recovery from the accident and return to swimming, her message of hope and faith led to winning many awards, such as the Gene Autry Courage in Sport Award the Woman of the Year Award at the National Women's Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C. In 1996, Haley returned to her roots in Scottsdale, Arizona, to teach and coach at Xavier for 4 years, saying that all she went through taught her how to be a more patient teacher. She now lives in Maryland with her husband and 2 sons and is an active, inspirational speaker. Her message and her book, What Though the Odds, tell the story of hope, survival, and dealing with loss. Her faith most certainly has earned her the Sports Faith International Virtues of St. Paul Award.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today and truly for this great honor. When I look at this award, there's 3 words that I hope are what I strive to, or what I know are how I strive to live my life, and that is sport, faith, and inspiring. And it really is, my faith has been inspired by many of the people that I've met through my sport. I grew up in an extremely athletic family, from Olympians to collegiate and professional athletes. It was never so much a question of would I play a sport, it was what sport would I play. And not having the great coordination that many of you have and the other athletes who have been up here, I chose swimming. I also was born and raised in Arizona, which during the summers it's very hot, so all of us swam by nature. But swimming gave me many gifts and taught me many lessons. Most of those helped me through my great life challenge. Goal setting, perseverance, commitment, teamwork, hard work. It also took me to 2 very important schools in my life. I went to high school at Xavier College Preparatory, which is a Catholic high school. I was not raised Catholic, but my public school did not have a swim team. So if I wanted to swim, I had to go to Xavier, and it took me there. I also chose the University of Notre Dame, again, not because I was Catholic and I wanted to attend a Catholic university, but because I wanted to swim for the coach who was there, my coach, Tim Welsh. And I knew that he was the type of person I would want to swim for and learn from for 4 years. And I did. But I learned many more lessons from him than I realized I would. I thought they would be swimming lessons and life lessons, but what I learned was from this great man of faith. During my freshman year, we were returning from a swim meet here at Northwestern. We were on the toll road and we were in a fatal bus accident. 2 of my freshman teammates were killed, and it was my first real experience with death. I was left paralyzed and in the hospital told I would never walk or swim again. And what I was able to do and how I spent the next several months in the hospital recovering from this real physical and emotional and spiritual hardship had everything to do with how I had been prepared and trained my whole life. My physical journey was made so much easier because of the training I had through swimming, through sport, all of those wonderful lessons that you learn as an athlete. And then being surrounded by these amazing communities of faith, Notre Dame, Xavier, many people throughout the sport and swimming community. It's that community of faith that has brought me to where I am today, being a healthy, happy, spiritual person. Tragedy is something that will change your life forever, whether it's an injury, an accident, a death, a divorce. It will affect everyone at some point in your life, whether you're 8 or 18, or if you're lucky, 80. And I really believe, I truly believe, that you can take 2 paths. You can allow it to make you more fearful and become a bitter person, or you can surround yourself by the goodness that you will find, because there is goodness there, and embrace that goodness. And for me, that goodness were these communities of faith that carried me through this. And then to live your life to be that goodness for someone else. And that is what I strive to do, and that is what I hope through this award and my book that I am able to do, is to help others be inspired, to be that community of faith, and to carry on all of the important lessons that we learn through sport and through our faith. Thank you very much.
Grant Desmey was born April 4th, 1986 in Bakersfield, California. His love of baseball blossomed as a student at Stockdale High. He was first-team selectee for the Southwest Yosemite League. As a senior, he was named co-most valuable player of the league. His baseball talent earned him the title of Big West Conference Player of the Year at California Polytechnic State University. Grant got his start in his professional career with the short-season Vancouver Canadians of the Northwest League in 2007. He batted .261 with 3 doubles, 1 home run, 6 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. In the 2008 season, he only played 2 games after he injured his wrist in 2007 and his shoulder in 2008. Then in 2009, he hit a combined .288 with 31 doubles, 6 triples, 31 home runs, 89 RBIs, and 40 stolen bases in 131 games. The Class A King County Cougars and the Class A Advanced Stockton Ports. The Arizona Fall League's Joe Black Most Valuable Player Award followed these achievements. He shocked the baseball world on January 22, 2010, when Desmey's plans to retire from professional baseball and begin his studies to become a Roman Catholic priest were reported. He said, "I was doing well at baseball, but I really had to get down to the bottom of things. I love the game, but I aspired to higher things. I wasn't at peace where I was at. I have no regrets. In retrospect, those injuries were the biggest blessings God ever gave me." Desmey intends to enter a seminary in Silverado in August. We applaud Grant Desmey for his courage and wisdom, for leaving the passing glories of the world and walking away. May the world and his family be blessed by his priesthood. We are so happy to present the Father Smith Award to Grant Desmey. Now, when he announced that he was leaving baseball to enter the seminary, he received a lot of attention from coast to coast. And his spiritual advisor advised him not to be here today to accept this award, but to be in spiritual confinement and direction. But we certainly recognized him, and Father Smith is the name on this award because when he was playing professional basketball, he decided to give up the game for the priesthood. Father Smith is here, Grant Desmey is not, but perhaps in the future we'll have Father Desmey here to be acknowledged in person. The first active head coach to be inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in the class of 2006 and the 2009 American Football Coaches Association Amos Alonzo Stagg recipient, St. John's University head coach John Gallardi ended his 61st season as a collegiate head football coach and 57th season as head coach in Collegeville in 2009. The winningest coach all-time in college football history, Gallardi ended the 2009 season with 471 victories, 126 defeats, 11 ties. That's his collegiate career record, and 447 wins, 120 defeats, and 10 ties record at St. John's. Gallardi's 61 years of collegiate coaching is the most in college football history, surpassing the old record of 57 years held by former University of Chicago and University of the Pacific coach Amos Alonzo Stagg. The 2007 Liberty Mutual Division III Coach of the Year, Gallardi tied the all-time collegiate win record held by former Grambling State head coach Eddie Robinson on November 1st, 2003, and broke the all-time record on November 8th, 2008, on the way to a perfect 14-0 season and an NCAA Division III championship. Ghilardi also broke Robinson's record for the most games coached in college football history, 588, on September 20th, 2008, against Concordia Moorhead. He also coached his 600th game on September 19th, 2009, against the Cobbers. Ghilardi's coaching career began when his high school coach at Trinidad Catholic in Colorado was drafted into World War II. Ghilardi, as captain, took over the reins at the age of 16 in 1943. After graduation from Colorado College in 1949, his first college coaching position was at Carroll College in Helena, Montana. Ghilardi led Carroll to 3 conference titles in his first 4 seasons as a college coach. His success caught the attention of St. John's University in Collegeville, Minnesota. St. John's needed a coach to succeed the legendary Johnny Blood McNally, a charter member of the Professional Football Hall of Fame. St. John's had not won a conference title in 15 years. Ghilardi took over the program in 1953 with an intent to turn the program around. Meanwhile, Blood offered this gloomy prediction: nobody could ever win at St. John's. Ghilardi proved McNally wrong by winning the MIAC title that fall. After 57 seasons, Ghilardi's teams still set the standard for MIAC competitors. He has coached 4 national championship teams and made the 2000 national title game. His teams have also reached the national semifinals 6 times, won 30 conference titles, and appeared in 58 postseason games. Ghilardi has been athletic director at both Carroll and St. John's. In June 2006, Ghilardi was inducted into the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics Hall of Fame. In 1993, Jostens and St. John's J Club unveiled the new Ghilardi Trophy that goes to the nation's outstanding Division III player. Ghilardi's success is attributable to more than just football strategy and tactics. He creates an environment of fun and high expectations, and he concentrates on methods and practices that truly focus on winning football games. In short, Ghilardi's approach is one of concentration at the critical point and flawless execution. It is accomplished through a practice regimen that is purposeful, emphasizing repetition and fundamentals. His coaching methods have been instilled in a series of winning with no's, some of which are now listed. No blocking sleds or dummies. No scholarships. No compulsory weightlifting program. No whistles. No coach. Players call him John. No tackling in practice. Players wear shorts or sweats. No long practices, an hour and a half or less. Each year, over 150 students turn out to be part of the St. John's program. Through his current and former players, his accomplishments on and off the field, and his place in the records of NCAA football, John Ghilardi has built a legacy that is unrivaled in college football. John Ghilardi.
I'm happy to be here, and when I say that I'm happy to be here, I mean that at my age, believe me, I'm happy to be anywhere. Now, there are 3 stages of life, and I've been through 2 of them, youth and middle age, and I'm right now in the 3rd stage. Boy, you're looking great. That's all I ever hear is, boy, you're looking great. I think that's a translation for, geez, I thought you were dead. Well, I've been around a long time, and I know that the end is near, and I know I can probably only go for another one or maybe two more decades. But I do know that people ask me about retirement, and I know that I have to be a little alert to the fact that I should look for signs, and I know that there are 3 signs. And when you start to forget to zip up, it's kind of a little hint. And then you really got to start thinking seriously about it when you forget to zip down. Well, and the third stage is really critical. I can't remember the third stage. See, I've been surrounded by Benedictine monks for a long time here. And I remember one time when the Irish president we had there, Father Coleman, you know how Irishmen are, Patrick. They can talk, boy. And he had a great, after we won a national championship, he gave a great talk to the Twin City alumni, and he finished it by saying, "John, we love you." Well, boy, that's pretty good news for a coach to hear. So, but I met him in the hallways a few weeks later, and I said, "Boy, Father Coleman, that was quite a nice thing to hear that you love me, and will you still feel that way if we start losing to St. Thomas?" He said, "John, I want you to know, you start losing, we're going to really love you, still love you, but I'm telling you this, we're going to miss you a lot too."
Brian Piccolo played college football at Wake Forest. His only other scholarship offer came from Wichita State. He led the nation in rushing and scoring during his senior season in 1964 and was named the Atlantic Coast Conference Player of the Year, yet went unselected in the 1965 NFL Draft. Because he was not selected in the 1965 NFL Draft, Piccolo tried out for the Chicago Bears as a free agent. He made the team for the 1965 season, but only earned a spot on the taxi squad, better known today as the practice squad, meaning he could practice but not suit up for games. In 1966, Piccolo was on the main roster, but played primarily on special teams. By 1967, his playing time increased as a backup to starting tailback Gale Sayers, and in 1969, he was moved to starting fullback with Sayers as the tailback. Brian scored 5 touchdowns over his career. Piccolo had finally earned a place in the starting lineup as an undersized fullback. During the 9th game in Atlanta on November 16th, he voluntarily removed himself from the game, something he had never done, which raised great concern among his teammates and coaches. He had extreme difficulty breathing on the field, so when the team returned to Chicago, he was promptly sent for a medical examination and was diagnosed with embryonal cell carcinoma. Soon after, Piccolo had surgery at Sloan Kettering in New York City to remove the tumor. He had another surgery in April 1970 to remove his left lung and pectoral muscle. After being bothered by chest pain, Piccolo was readmitted to the hospital in early June, and doctors determined the cancer had spread to other organs, most notably his liver. Brian Piccolo died on June 16, 1970, at the age of 26. In 1980, students at Wake Forest, Piccolo's alma mater, began the Brian Piccolo Cancer Fund Drive in his memory. They raised money for the Comprehensive Cancer Center at the Bowman Gray Medical Center of Wake Forest University. In addition, the Brian Piccolo Student Volunteer Program was established to provide undergraduates with an opportunity to work at the Cancer Center as volunteers. In memory of Piccolo's accomplishments at St. Thomas Aquinas High School, football stadium in Fort Lauderdale is named after him. Also, at the end of every football game, the school's marching band plays The Hands of Time, the theme from Brian's song, a movie based on the friendship between Sayers and Piccolo. Each season since 1972, the Atlantic Coast Conference has awarded the Brian Piccolo Award to the conference's most courageous player. In 2007, the recipient was Matt Robinson of Wake Forest, the fourth player from Piccolo's alma mater to be given the award. Since 1970, the Chicago Bears have also handed out an award by the same name to a rookie, and since 1992, a veteran who best exemplifies the courage, loyalty, teamwork, dedication, and sense of humor of Piccolo. The Bears players choose the winners. Here to accept the award is Joy Piccolo O'Connell.
When I met Brian, I was truly attracted to him because of his faith and his inner strength. Things did not come easy for him, ever. We just continued, and we were great friends in high school. We ended up getting married after college. We have raised millions of dollars for cancer research in his name, and really have made much progress because of him. It is my faith, my life, my family, and my friends that keep me so strong. When I think of him, I just think of persistence, not giving up, never give up, don't quit. You'll make it, you'll be okay, you'll be great. Well, I've learned a lot, and I learned to speak from Ed McCASKEY, who always used to tell me to keep it short, keep it very brief, but to be very truthful, and I am so grateful. This means so much to me. It was Brian's faith that just kept us all so strong, and it still does to this very day. And again, I'm so appreciative, as is our family. We truly appreciate the award and everything it means, and I am humbled just sitting here listening to all of you. It has just been quite a treat for me, and thank you very much.
William V. Bidwell's association with the Cardinals began as a child ball boy on Chicago's South Side and continues today as owner. A native of Chicago, Bill Bidwell presides over the oldest continuously operated professional football franchise. Founded in 1898, the Cardinals joined the Chicago Bears as the only two remaining charter members of the National Football League in 1920. While he has seen quite a bit in over 7 decades of involvement with the team, few achievements compared to those reached by the Cardinals a year ago when they captured their first NFC title and advanced to the Super Bowl for the first time in team history. The Cardinals have remained in the Bidwell family since Bill's father, Charles, a prominent Chicago sports figure and member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, purchased the team in 1932. Charles ran the club until his death in the Cardinals' NFL championship year of 1947. Charles' wife, Violet, then guided the team's fortunes for the next 15 years, followed jointly by sons Bill and Charles Jr. Bill became sole owner in 1972. Named a Cardinal vice president during his undergraduate days at Georgetown University, Bill Bidwell returned to Chicago from the Navy in 1956 to begin assisting family interests that included football. When the Cardinals moved to St. Louis in 1960, Bidwell returned to the organization on a full-time basis. The 78-year-old Bidwell remains involved in all areas of the Cardinals' day-to-day operation. He operates the organization in South Tempe, Arizona. From its award-winning training facility, the team has called home since construction was completed in September 1990. In August of 2006, the team operated the state-of-the-art University of Phoenix Stadium, which gave the 110-year-old franchise its first true home. An active supporter of various civic and charitable organizations and endeavors, Bidwell directed the formation of Cardinals Charities, the team's organization dedicated to supporting worthy Arizona causes shortly after the Cardinals arrived in the state. Bidwell is co-chair of the Board of Trustees for the Burt Bell, Pete Rozelle Player Benefit Plan. In August of 2007, he was named to the Board of Trustees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the governing body of the Canton-based organization. Bidwell and his wife Nancy are the parents of 5 children and have 9 grandchildren. I've known Bill Bidwell a long time. It's been an honor and a privilege. He's one of the best storytellers in the National Football League, and yet he doesn't like public speaking. So we have a video for you.
Bill Bidwell, owner of the Arizona Cardinals Football Club, knows the history of the National Football League as well as anyone. His father, Charles Bidwell, purchased the Cardinals in 1932. Ever since he was a teenager, Mr. Bidwell has been involved, in one way or another, with the business of running one of the league's 2 charter franchises. His roots in the NFL run deep, serving as the foundation for today's Arizona Cardinals. However, it's a different institution that provides Mr. Bidwell the values with which he conducts his life. Whether raising a family, running a business, or growing friendships, the core beliefs of the church are the basis for Mr. Bidwell's principles.
I'm probably more quiet about it than boastful of it, and I don't wear it on my sleeve. I practice it as much as I can. Integrity was certainly part of it. Honesty and integrity, and do the right thing, do it day by day.
The guiding light of the church has been with Mr. Bidwell since childhood, but it was his experience as a young man in Jesuit schools which laid the groundwork for a lifetime dedicated to his faith.
Went to Catholic grade schools when we lived in Chicago, growing up, west side of Chicago, and they had a good group of nuns teaching there, and it was a good education. And I was able to spend 2 years at St. Ignatius High School in Chicago, where my father actually had gone, and my brother went there and graduated. And from there I went to Georgetown Prep outside of Washington.
Father Dugan, a priest at Georgetown Prep, left quite an impression on the young Bill Bidwell.
Father Dugan was a role model, no question of that. I mean, he was real. He was a straight shooter, and he was very successful at it, and people respected him. He also liked it when we won a football game.
One Sunday, while serving in the Navy in 1956, duty called, and Bill Bidwell delivered.
I was on a submarine tender, which is a large ship, and we had a Greek Orthodox chaplain, so he couldn't say Mass for anyone on the ship. We didn't have any Greek Orthodox on the ship in the crew. So on Easter Sunday in 1956, I led the Rosary service on the top deck of the Orion.
Faith has been a steady guide to Mr. Bidwell, affectionately known as Mr. B to the Cardinals team, and Bill to friends and associates. His devotion to that faith is unwavering, demonstrated by his commitment to attend Sunday Mass, even on game days.
Well, I go to church on Sundays, every Sunday, and sometimes it's the pregame meal, and sometimes it's at the parish, and that's just what we do.
Personally and professionally, Mr. Bidwell uses his connection with his faith to enrich the community in which he works and lives. The Arizona Cardinals and Cardinals Charities partner with local churches, schools, and other community organizations to help those in need, specifically the children of Arizona. Much of the generosity is conducted without fanfare. One of the organizations that receive a helping hand from the Bidwells is the St. Peter Mission School, located on an Indian reservation just outside of Phoenix. The relationship grew out of a special friendship between Mr. B and the principal of the school, Sister Martha Carpenter.
We met Mr. B about 20 years ago. He came down to the mission with a friend of ours.
Super Bowl 43, and she and Sister Tercel, her buddy down at the convent, had a good time in Tampa, and it was nice to have them along.
Mr. Bill Bidwell.
About Sister Martha, Joe Garagiola looks at me and will say, "You introduced me to Sister Martha." She is tough. She is tough. And they run a wonderful school for Indian children who really, if they don't have the schooling, don't have a great future. But she brings hope to them and education to them and leadership to them. And by the way, she also had 3 uncles who played for the original Green Bay Packers, and may lightning not strike me here. She has a new foe, and that's the Minnesota Vikings, who will play her Green Bay Packers. And of course, she had 3 brothers who did play for the original Packer team, the only 3 brothers that have ever played for the same NFL team. But if anyone wants to find an honest situation to donate money that will be well spent and help people who don't have a lot of future on where they live and the situation with the Native Americans in the Southwest. But thank you for this. I'm very honored by it. I'm happy to be back here. I thank the McCASKEY family and everyone involved, and Coach, you look good too.
Monahan and his wife Marjorie have 4 daughters and 8 grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Monahan.
I'll go through my story rather briefly. As I said, my dad died when I was 4, actually on Christmas Eve, so it was a tough Christmas. But I spent a lot of time in the orphanage. It was basically like being brought up in a convent. Very strict, very religious, but I had a great nun, Sister Brada, who was my mother, my father, and my teacher. And under her, I received my faith. When I got out of high school, I had no money. I wanted to go to college. I went to Ferris for a while, ran out of money, joined the Marine Corps. I actually joined the Marine Corps in Harvey, Illinois, not far from here. The reason I was there is I was looking for a job that summer to get enough money together to go back to school in the fall at the University of Michigan, where I was accepted, but couldn't find anything. So I hitchhiked to Chicago and knocking on doors trying to get a job. I couldn't find anything in Michigan. And I walked by the post office in Harvey, Illinois one day, and the door was open, and inside I could see a recruiting desk there, and I said, I remember hearing an ad somewhere that if you join the Army, you get your college all paid for. That sounded pretty good to me at the time, so I went in and I asked, is that true? If I join the Army, will you pay for my college? He said, yeah, you join for 3 years, you get 2 years of college all paid for. And I said, will that be transferable to the University of Michigan? Oh yeah, no problem. And so I was an easy sell at the time, so they sent me down to the Loop. I went through all the physicals and everything, and then when it took time to be sworn in, I found out I was joining the Marine Corps, not the Army. The recruiter must have been an Irishman because he never let on that. So it turned out to be one of the greatest experiences I ever had. Although I got to tell you, at the beginning I was shocked because every other word out of this, the first Marine sergeant I ran into was a 4-letter word. And I says, am I supposed to respect that guy? Am I supposed to call that guy sir? I was pretty indignant, but I got through it. But one of the best things that happened to me in the Marine Corps, other than the tremendous leadership training it is itself, of course I was right next to Lee Harvey Oswald in my tent in boot camp. And I tell you, he was a pretty strange guy. But when I was aboard ship for about a long time, I had a lot of time to think, and I thought about my life, because I was always ambitious, I always had big goals, I always wanted to be successful. And then I realized, so what? What is important? And I started really thinking like I never thought before in my life. And I came up with 5 priorities for my life, and it became a roadmap for my life. I didn't always follow it, but at least I had a road to get back onto when I fell off. And those are something that have stood me well my entire life. And I wanted to get A's in 5 different areas, and they had to be in the right priority. I wanted to be successful, there's no question about that. I figured I'll do what I have to do that. But I wanted it to be for something good. I didn't want to be just to be like Hugh Hefner. And because I had all the inclinations of Hugh Hefner. I mean, if I didn't work for my faith, I'd make him look like a piker. So I realized that it was more important to take care of my health than my pocketbook. So I wanted to be healthy. And I realized that my mental health was more important than my physical health. I wanted to use the brain that God gave me. They say most people use about 20% of their brain. With television, it's probably 10%. I wanted to be a good person. I wanted to have good relationships, particularly with my spouse, with my children, and with everybody. In other words, I wanted to practice the golden rule. And lastly, of course, I'm going to die. And I could either spend eternity in heaven or I can spend eternity in hell. And that was an easy decision for me. I wanted to go to heaven. So that was my 5 priorities: spiritual, social, mental, physical, and financial. I wanted to get A's in all 5. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I lost my 3 years of savings. Most guys in the Marine Corps, they go out every payday and they get drunk and all the other stuff that goes with it. And I don't have any tattoos on me. I'm not going to prove it to you. But I'm one of the few Marines that didn't have tattoos. Instead of doing that, I went to the gym, I worked out, I went to the library, I read just about everything in the library. The libraries weren't that big because I wanted to improve myself. And I saved my money. I saved most of the money I made in the Marine Corps. Then just before I got out, I met an Irishman in the oil business, and I ended up giving him 3 years of savings. So I got out of the Marine Corps broke. And so I'm struggling to stay in the University of Michigan. I scraped together the tuition, no money for textbooks. After 3 weeks, I said, this is ridiculous. So I dropped out to save some money, worked about 3 jobs. I was in charge of the newspaper boys, which is the best management experience I've ever had. And one day my brother approached me about this pizza place that was for sale in Ypsilanti. It was a hole in the wall, $500 down. And so and I told my brother, I don't know anything about the pizza business. He said, well, I worked in a pizza place before and there's nothing to it. I said, okay. So I found out later he worked in a pizza place for a month and all he did was wash dishes. And so I said, this is the way I'm going to pay my way through the University of Michigan, be an architect. I'm going to work half the night, my brother's going to work the other half the night, and we're going to make enough money and enough time to study. Well, after we signed the papers, my brother got cold feet and wouldn't give up his job at the post office, so I was stuck. It turned out to be 100 hours a week, losing my shirt, and I was stuck there for 38 years, and I never did finish college. In fact, I'm the only person in the United States that runs a university or a college that doesn't have a degree. In fact, I'm still a freshman. But it was the most incredibly humble beginning. The first 20 years were just up and downs like a yo-yo, making every kind of mistake in the book. Then I had a fire which almost wiped me out. I didn't have enough sense to have insurance, or had very little of it. I overexpanded, and I ended up losing control of the company. And then when I'm finally starting to get my act together, after some bad partnerships and some other problems, I ended up with a lawsuit with Domino's Sugar over the name. And that lawsuit lasted 5 years, from 1975 to 1980. It just about sucked the blood out of the company. But I finally won that lawsuit in 1980. We lost it, we won the appeal, and then they went to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court didn't hear it. And from 1980 to 1990, we had the fastest growth in any restaurant chain in the history of the world. We went from 300 stores to over 5,000 stores in 10 years. In 1985, we opened 954 stores, which is the most units ever opened by any restaurant chain in history. And in 1983, I had the opportunity to realize a dream that very few people realize, and that was to buy the dream team of my childhood, the Detroit Tigers. In the orphanage, we were Tiger fanatics. Our big day of the year was every year the Knights of Columbus would take us to Old Brick Stadium and see a Tiger game. And we knew all the players, their stats and everything. My favorite player was Hoot Evers. And so I had the chance to buy the Tigers. And I remember this was the fall of '83. I met Sparky Anderson, our manager, shortly after I bought the Tigers. And I said, you know, Sparky, when I was a kid in the orphanage, I used to play shortstop. And I was the only kid on the infield without a ski on the end of my name, mostly Polish kids in the orphanage. And so they used to call me Monahansky. And I said, Sparky, you know, when I was a kid, I always dreamed, and I grew up, now I'm 48 years old by this time. And I said, I always dreamed that when I grew up I could play shortstop for the Detroit Tigers. And Sparky says, I love my mother, but she ain't going to pitch for me. And then, of course, that first year we went out and we won the World Series. We started out 35-5 and never looked back. We pioneered a whole industry, pizza delivery. It really didn't exist before, only a very minor way. In fact, I used to go to the Home Run Inn here a lot when I used to scout the pizza business, particularly around Chicago. There's a big pizza center, and the Home Run Inn was one of the places I used to visit every year. And I can't remember the name of the guy, but I used to pick his brain all the time. He had the world's largest pizza oven at that time. But Domino's became the 7th largest restaurant chain in the world, the largest privately held restaurant chain in the world. We actually got to the point where we sold more pizza than anybody in the United States, not in the world because Pizza Hut was ahead of us internationally. And at one point we had 54% of all the pizzas delivered in the United States. But I thought I could handle all that. I went to Mass every day, I said 3 rosaries every day. I went to confession every month. But I did start to get a big head. I started buying all the toys. I bought yachts, I bought jets, helicopters. I built a big rustic lodge on Drummond Island, the northern Lake Huron. I built an incredibly beautiful, large headquarters building in Ann Arbor, which was just named one of the top 10 architectural gems of the state of Michigan. I put together the largest Frank Lloyd Wright collection in the world. We're in Frank Lloyd Wright country now, but I've been to virtually every house in the Chicago area that was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright. And I've been on got countless media interviews. I've received the honorary degrees you heard about. But one day I was building a big, new, beautiful home. And I read a book by C.S. Lewis called Mere Christianity. And there's a chapter in that book on pride. And it hit me right between the eyes. I couldn't sleep that night. Because basically what it said is, the reason you worked harder than everyone else you know, the reason that when you were a kid on the ball field, you sacrificed your body more to make a spectacular play than anyone else, the reason you hustled more than others is because you wanted to make a splash. You wanted to make a spectacular play. The reason I worked so hard and lived in house trailers and I was starting out and went without a lot of things is so I could have more later. More of what? More than other people. And I said, that's me. And I hate a show-off. And I was a closet show-off. And so I took what I call a millionaire's vow of poverty. I gave up all ostentatious luxuries. I got rid of everything that, so I didn't give up all comforts and luxuries because, I am married. In fact, I told my wife, I had all these fancy cars. I had one of the largest car collections in the country also. I was driving, I had Bentleys and Rolls Royces and everything. I got rid of all that and I was driving a Mercury and a Ford. And my wife had a Jaguar and a Cadillac. I said, honey, maybe you ought to get rid of those. And she says, you took the vow of poverty, I didn't. So I ended up selling the company. And the main thrust of my resources, my efforts was to start Ave Maria University. Now, I did a lot of thought. I've been in Catholic philanthropy for many years, early 80s. And because I never made a secret of the fact that I was a Catholic, and I got hit by every Catholic charity in the country. And so I knew what was out there. I knew what was important to the church. And I felt that hands down, it's Catholic higher education. And there's only 2 Catholic universities in the country I know of that don't have co-ed dorms, for example. So, and I've been on the board of 6 different colleges and universities. 5 of them were Catholic. And some bad, some not so bad, some good. And so when I set out to build a new Catholic university, I could start with a clean sheet of paper, didn't have all the baggage that all these other schools have. And we wanted to have a school that was a combination of academics and spirituality, excellence in both, something that I don't think exists today. And if they're good at one, they're not good at the other. Every meeting that takes place, whether it's 2 people or 100, starts with a prayer. Every class starts with a prayer. We have perpetual adoration year-round. We have 2 faculty that are not Catholic, and they're supportive of our mission. And all our Catholics are strong Catholics. All our coaches are devout Catholics. Our number 1 club on campus is a pro-life club. Our number 2 club on campus, which was started by the students, is the Chastity Club. I don't know there's another school in the country that has a Chastity Club. I invite all of you to come visit Ave Maria town because I guarantee you'll be impressed because there's absolutely nothing like it anywhere else in the world. And I talked way too long. Thank you very much. It's a great award. I sure appreciate it.
There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes his home. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see. like your words.